Imagine playing the biggest Valorant tournament of the year, $500,000 on the line, and everything has led to this moment. The pressure is on, everyone is watching, and you lock in 4 duelists in the first match by accident.
Wait. No.
Decide to play it anyway and steamroll your opponents to a 13-3. Exactly this happened in the 2023 VCT Game Changer Championship in Sao Paulo. What looked like one of the biggest blunders in Valorant history turned into one of the wildest, most unforgettable stories.
SMG take down EG 2-0 and make it.
So how exactly did this happen? On one side, we have Team SMG, the uncontested champions of the APAC region, but despite their regional dominance, this was the first international LAN event for every single player on that roster. They were rookies on the biggest stage imaginable, and in their debut match, they lock in 4 duelists. But why? Was it a stroke of genius? A meta-defying strategy? No, it was a simple, honest mistake. They thought the agent select was a tech run, a technical practice the organizers do to check everything is working as it should, but by the time they realized it was live, it was too late. Instead of calling for a remake and admitting their error, they made a choice. They decided to honor it. They would play. Round 1, the pistol round. Confusion sets in, not just for the viewers, but likely for evil geniuses too. SMG loads up on A. Reyna, Raze, and Neon create a wall of aggression at A rubble, forcing EG to respect it and funnel towards C, right where Phoenix and Aneri's Cypher are waiting. EG's attack composition wasn't built for hard executes. With a double controller setup and only a Sky for initiation, they relied on lurking and picks. SMG's constant forward pressure completely dismantled the game plan. Reyna immediately finds a contact play, picking off the lurk, and SMG take the first round.
Scary Shark in such a good spot.
He's so far up, the first will fall, and inevitability, unfortunately, is she will beat.
Round 2, and SMG does it again. Heavy pressure on A, forcing EG to be predictable. Cypher and Raze push up C, essentially locking EG into A lobby. They have no utility to force their way out, so SMG uses their own Phoenix flashes, Reyna blinds, and fights them right in lobby. It's chaotic, it's aggressive, and it's working. 2-0. On their bonus, SMG sets up a 1-0-4, again, all pressure is on A. EG eventually breaks through the Viper wall, but we've lost too many players to the Sheriffs and the Hero Vandal on Kahibi. The post plan is disjointed, 2v2, and SMG easily cleans it up.
That Sprout goes horribly sideways as SMG win the bonus.
SMG taking the full ability of their mechanical skills.
By round 4, Shirazi has an operator and she goes straight to A. She picks off the Viper yet again, who is trying to establish some form of map control. With A control secured, Reyna can hold a deep aggressive angle while the rest of the team reinforces B and C. EG is completely suffocated. They've lost the A lurk, their main force is stuck. They try to play at B, but SMG plays it perfectly clean, only losing one player on the exit, 4-0. EG is forced into a timeout. How do you even coach against this? It defies all conventional strategy. Adaptation is the only way out. EG come out of the timeout with a plan. Help Power Pixel take the A site fight she's been losing, but SMG is a step ahead. They've read it like a book. Aneri's Cypher rotates to A, and Shirazi pushes a deep flank outside C.
It's such a heavy setup, and this 1-3-1 setup, they can fast rotate.
Yeah. Very, very quick with it. You see the trip causing problems already, as they eventually managed to get past it. The span coming through, though. And it seems like they're going to try to just flood out and take these fights. When you're going up against these duelists, it could be a problem. But Scary Shark finding one, finding a second, as Power Pixel counters with it.
EG get the plant, even a numbers advantage, but Alexion Phoenix is a menace on the retake. Her flashes are perfect, and a late molly from Starbound allows her to stick the defuse behind Aneri's cyber cage.
Oh my goodness, EG so close to success.
A crushing round for EG. That was their best shot, and it was denied, 5-0. Round 6. EG tries to switch it up with a half buy and a fast B hit. They trade 3 players to take the site and get weapon upgrades. They pivot to A, where only one defender remains. But that one defender is Aneri. On the only non-duelist agent, Aneri single-handedly holds the A site in a 1v2 and clutches the round. 6-0. A flawless start for the Pacific team, even with the wrong comp. You can tell that this is a map that they have mastered. Okay, so let's pause here. To understand why this is actually working, we need to talk about the philosophy of the 4 Duelist defense. Think of defensive utility as a traffic light system. Normal comps have some red light areas that they aim to stop a push dead, like a killjoy anchor in sight with nano swarms and turrets, or a site with a cypher setup and kill trips. They'll also have an orange light area. They fight a little, but mainly playing for delay and to provide information for rotates, like an Omen playing with a Paranoia or Sova with drones and shock darts. And then you have green light utility abilities and areas that tend to just be go. Like when teams hard take a specific area on the map with race satchels or maybe even a jet dash. SMG's comp being 4 Duelists is almost entirely green light. They have no information gathering and very little utility to delay a push bar an area on this cypher as that red zone. Their only option is to turn their defense into an attack. They can't wait for EG to come to them, they have to meet them halfway. To cosplay as the attackers on their own defensive half, forcing early fights on their terms, flipping the entire map on its head, but the hyper-aggression can be punished.
And in round 7, EG finally found their moment.
After losing Starbound early, they committed to a triple push on Mound. Scary Shark on Raze just goes neat clear, making quick work of Venari's setup and using his showstopper to create space.
Not looking bad.
Scary Shark with 4, and they finally get around. A huge round!
But SMG answered right back in round 8. EG won the initial A-Rebel fight, an improvement, but Cameo expertly fell back, isolating a 1v1 and preventing a trade. This bought just enough time for Alexi and Anari to sprint from C, collapsing on the remaining EG players and instantly reclaiming the round. Round 9 saw EG take a different approach. They found success with the Marshall lurk on C, but the rest of SMG had already conceded A, leaving the ever-present Anari to hold the site alone. And on an eco, EG's only hope was to overwhelm her with numbers, and yet
too much as Anari continues to farm.
She still took 2 of them down with her before falling, a constant thorn in their side. After 3 more scrappy rounds, the half ended 9-3, a dominant defensive half with 4 Duelists, and now SMG was on the attack, with a comp built for it. This felt inevitable.
How do you deal with this if you were EG? How do you counter this?
You have to stop the early aggression, and here's the problem is that when you're playing against a Neon on this map, the Neon can take A space without getting hit by Omen Flash, without getting hit by Nade. And you know what, with the Nade nerfs on top of it, it actually doesn't like really kill you anymore unless you stand directly on it. So I actually think if they decide to fight A, they're gonna have a really hard time.
Round 13, the second pistol, SMG groups up as 5 at A-Rebel, a buddy system of pure aggression. There's no jiggle peaks, no slow defaults, they just run. And as the tree door opens, they catch Thea and Laurie completely off guard. Alexi will not stop running, and when she finally falls, her teammates are right behind her to trade, and they cleanly collect the final kill, 10-3. Round 14, EG is economically broken, they're forced to save, and their only goal is to make this round as costly as possible for SMG. But SMG have no intention of letting that happen. They start with a slow default, collecting Alexi's ult orb from B main for free, and they don't even need it to take site. It's a free plant. And Alexi uses her ultimate to push deep into defender spawn.
Look at how much space that they are taking. The Cypher pushed all the way through stairs. This is going to be so hard for EG to retake.
EG needed to do damage, steal weapons, anything. Instead, they failed at all of these objectives, and SMG takes the round without a single casualty. Round 15, SMG runs default towards C to pick up another ult orb for Alexi before regrouping for a full A site hit. EG can't contest the initial push and have to set up for a full retake. The spike goes down, and EG commits with a heavy push from heaven. This could be a problem. However, Alexi is a one-woman army. She deals with the entire heaven push by herself, self-initiating with her own flashes. Mid-fight, she even gets her ult online and pops it just to be more of a menace.
As another run it back comes through, but Starbound is in a position where she should be able to punish. An area onto 1, it's all onto Starbound. Starbound falls, and the slaughter continues.
Round 16, map point for SMG, and EG have their backs pressed against the wall.
21-6 from the Sentinel for SMG. It's another orb going in favor of Alexi. The game plan is airtight.
In a terrifying display of confidence, they do a full 5-person hit on the site. Nothing could stop them. and the Duelists of SMG fight their way to a 13-3 victory. They forced EG to play their game, and when EG failed to adapt early on, and with 4 players on Duelist playing with confidence, momentum built and the snowball was just too big to stop. And ironically, with 4 Duelists on the team, it was Neri, the lone sentinel, whose hero plays and crucial clutches anchored that on paper impossible 4 Duelist defense to get a 9-3 half in their favor. SMG would go on to win the next map, Haven, 13-7, taking the series 2-0. For these 5 players who flew halfway across the world for their first time on the international stage, this was just the beginning. They would go on to place top 4 at their very first World Championship. So, where are the players from that legendary roster now? The core of Camu, Alexi and Aneri stuck together, and they now play for Falcons Vega. Camu is a world-class controller and a recent MVP at a Red Bull LAN. Alexi is still the ultimate flex player, currently spanning 4 different roles, and Aneri, the cipher from this 4 Duelist comp, is now their team's main duelist. They've continued their dominance, winning both splits in Southeast Asia and even a recent LAN in London. I, for one, am super excited to see what they can do at the next international in Seoul. Shirazi has moved regions, finding a new home in VCT GC China with Nova Esports, where she found similar success, winning the recent Chinese split. And Kohaibi, the Reina who started it all, also moved to GC China, playing for Ambitious Legends Gaming. In a twist of fate, her team met Shirazi's Nova Esports in the grand final of the same tournament. This video is inspired by the amazing content from Aaron. If you enjoy deep dives into Tier 1 Valorant, you should absolutely go check out their channel. Also, if you enjoyed this little throwback breakdown of a classic GC match, I don't think anyone is forgetting anytime soon. Also, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe and join my Discord linked in the description. Thank you for watching. Mwah.